Okay guys, so now we're going to talk about world explorers. So one of the first ones we're going to talk about, his name, it's kind of a weird one, is Sswh. Okay, spelled like this. I know it doesn't look to sound like that, but it does. So Sswh is from China, and he is an admiral in their fleet navy. So Sswh, he goes all around into India, parts of East Asia, and also into parts of Europe. And his main job is to get different goods and items and also set up trade ports in those cities. One of the really cool things that he brought over back to China, because it was an exotic animal, I spelled that wrong, is a giraffe. Okay, that was one of the really cool things that he brought back over. So Sswh, remember, Chinese admiral, went around, opened up trade ports. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is Ferdinand Magellan. Let me get him on here. Now, Ferdinand Magellan is super important because he is the first explorer to circumnavigate the world. And what that means is he is the first person who is able to find a route that goes from Spain all the way around to Asia. Now, for him to do that, he had to figure out a way to get through the Atlantic Ocean, through what he would call the Pacific Ocean, to where China and Japan were located. So what he ended up doing, and this is not going to look very good, but he decided to go under South America. So he went under the bottom part of South America, and that was able to bring him over to the other side of the Pacific Ocean, where you have Asia. Now, Ferdinand Magellan is given credit for circumnavigating the globe, again, meaning going all the way around. But unfortunately, he died before his journey ended. But we still give him the credit because he was the one leading the voyage. Okay? Another person we're going to talk about, who you probably know about, is Christopher Columbus. Okay? Now, Christopher Columbus is important because he is given the title or the credit for discovering America. Okay? So what Christopher Columbus was trying to do, also leaving from Spain, is he was trying to find a shorter route from Spain to the East Indies, which is also Asia, so China, India. Okay? During this time, though, since nobody knew about this part of the world, he actually ended up discovering the Americas, or islands off the coast of the Americas. So he lands in the Caribbean. Is there two B's? Anyway, he lands in the Caribbean islands. I'm having trouble spelling. It's okay. So he lands in the Caribbean islands. He thinks he's in the East Indies, so he ends up calling these people on the island Indians. And that's where we get that sort of confusion that we still have today. So Christopher Columbus, thinking he's in the Indies, he opens up trade ports from Spain to the Americas now. And because of this, this all starts something called the Columbian Exchange. Now, the Columbian Exchange is just an exchange of things like food, plants, animals, also diseases, from the old world to the new world. Now, this exchange is going to change everything that's happening in the Americas, and also is going to be really beneficial for Europe and other parts of the old world. It's the reason we have certain foods in the Americas today and certain animals. So he's given credit for starting this kind of interaction between Europe and this new world. Okay? The next one we're going to talk about is James Cook. Now, James Cook is going to be a British explorer. He's in the Royal Navy, and he ends up discovering somewhere down under, or what we would call down under, which is Australia. So he goes to Australia and other Hawaiian islands in the Pacific Ocean. Now, James Cook is really cool because he's credited with being one of the first Europeans to see a kangaroo for the first time. So he establishes colonies in Australia, and that's another reason why we have a large European population in Australia today. So James Cook, Australia, kangaroos. Okay? The next one we're going to talk about is Vasco da Gama. Now, Vasco Vasco da Gama, he is going to also try to open up trade ports for Portugal. So what he's going to do, which is very similar to Ferdinand Magellan, he is going to go under the continent of Africa. This is Africa. It's poorly drawn, but this is Africa. So he goes under the bottom of Africa. He does this, and then that's going to allow him to open up trade to India over here. When he does that in India, he gets all these different spices that he brings back to Portugal. That's going to make Portugal pretty rich. It's also going to make him pretty rich as well. So Vasco da Gama opens up those trade routes. And you can just pretty much think about it like spice. Okay? Everything's getting crowded on here. But he does that for Portugal. So Vasco da Gama goes under Africa, brings back spices to Europe. Okay, another one we're going to look at is Samuel de Champlain. So, Samuel de Champlain, he is a French explorer, and he is going to go into what we now know today as Canada. So, during this time, he establishes French colonies within Canada and establishes what is known as New France. Now, you might know New France today as Quebec. So thanks to him, and they even named a lake after him there, he is able to establish this in Canada. And that's why even today, in certain parts of Canada, they speak French. And it's all due to those who were starting those colonies during this time in the Age of Discovery. Okay? I think I hit everybody.
I think you got everybody.
I got everybody. So those are the explorers, or the 6 that we're looking at. There's obviously many more during this time, but these are the main ones that we're looking at due to their discoveries and their impact on the world around them.